I still remember that crisp morning off the Maine coast when the U.S. Marshal's voice boomed over the waves like thunder. Reading Victoria Hawthorne her rights as her fancy yacht bobbed there. Hemmed by Coast Guard boats, she was screaming about her freedoms and property lines like the world owed her an apology. Just hours before, this woman had marched onto my dock with a stack of phony papers from the 1800s, demanding I hand over my whole island to her bogus homeowners association, acting like she was queen of the sea. What she didn't know was I wasn't some clueless retiree who'd snagged an island for the sunsets. I was right where the feds had planted me, and her little power play was about to blow up in her face. Let me back up a bit. Tell you how I ended up on Harbor Point Island. It's this rugged 12-acre spot 3 miles out from Portland, with craggy shores, dense fir trees, and an old lighthouse that's seen better days. At 42, after years in Coast Guard intel, busting smuggling rings up and down the Atlantic, I put away a syndicate using these isolated outcrops as draw points for their dirty work testified against them, helped seize millions in assets. As a thank you, the witness protection folks let me pick from a haul, and Harbor Point just felt right. A solid 3,800 square foot keeper's house updated in the 90s, a short airstrip for my Piper Cub, a sturdy dock that could take a 50-footer. The old owners, those smugglers, had poured cash into it, making it a self-sufficient hideaway with solar setups, a wind generator, even a rainwater system that turned salt into fresh. I spent my first days wandering, finding hidden caches from Prohibition times, overgrown paths they'd cut for quick getaways, a boathouse stocked like a mechanic's dream. It was peaceful, a fresh start after all the shadows of my old job until day 3, when trouble floated in. I was up on a lighthouse catwalk, tweaking a new radar setup, when I heard engines unannounced, no radio hail. Binocs showed a sleek float plane skimming in, red as a fire truck, taxiing right up like they owned the water, followed by a 60-foot azimuth yacht flanked by a couple of speedboats. Out steps Victoria Hawthorne, this polished 50-something with hair like spun gold pulled back severe, in a tailored suit and heels that screamed boardroom bully. She strode up my path with 5 flunkies in matching jackets, a photographer snapping away, and a guy in what looked like a deputy's getup, though his badge screamed fake from a mile off. They fanned out, pointing at my buildings, muttering about infractions, and Victoria finally locks eyes with me, her smile all predator, no heart. "You must be the new occupant, Mr. Harlan," she says, making it sound like I'd squatted in her backyard. "I'm Victoria Hawthorne, chair of the Bayview Shores Association, and we've got some urgent matters to address. Your situation here is untenable." She whips out this leather binder, pulls papers that looked ancient yellowed edges, fancy script claiming an 1875 coastal covenant put all islands within 4 miles under their control, transferred to her HOA in 2003. "You owe $45,000 in arrears from the prior tenants," she declares, voice dripping authority, plus $4,500 monthly for upkeep, docks, airstrip. All of it needs our stamp or fines kick in. I spotted the fraud right away, phrasing too slick for the era, seals that were inkjet, references to buoys installed in the 30s, but I played cool, wiping grease from my hands. "Ma'am, I'll need my lawyer to vet this," I say, snapping pics of her crew on my phone. Her eyes narrow, that smile turning icy. "Mr. Harlan, resistance isn't wise. We have influence here, and I'd hate for complications to arise. Like inspections turning up hazards that tank your value." It was a veiled threat, pure and simple, and her deputy shifted uneasily, avoiding my gaze. As they left, she slaps a violation ticket on me for the radar unapproved alteration, $800 fine, payable now, and her yacht peels away, circling once more like a shark scenting blood. That lit the fuse inside. I felt this mix of anger and old instincts kicking in, the kind from years spotting cons at sea. Why me? Why now? Turned out, Victoria wasn't just a HOA tyrant. She was knee-deep in the old smuggling ring, using her association as cover to muscle folks off prime spots for laundering cash or stashing goods. My island was Keo Waypoint with deep water and privacy in. She feared I'd uncover her ties. That night, I pored over hidden ledgers I'd found in the house. Visits from her yacht, coded drop times. Calls poured in next day, fake committees harassing about spills, erosion. Wildlife then inspector shows up, clipboard in hand, but I had my attorney, Elena Ruiz, on speaker. Credentials? Warrant. He bails, flustered. Boats circled, blaring horns, snapping pick-spetty. But it wore on you, made you question staying. Then vandalism. Surrender or suffer scrawled on my dock. Plain tires shredded, fuel tainted. My blood boiled. This wasn't about dues. It was personal, her greed clashing with my resolve to build a safe haven for my kid, Jamie, 15 and excited for summer visits. But I wasn't a lone old Coast Guard contact were looped in, code words over the line. Storm brewing, birds acting territorial. We baited her, me acting dug in, ordering fences loud enough for spies to hear. Day 5, she goes nuclear. Dawn raid with a dozen boats, barges hauling dozers, 25 goons in faux tactical vests mark enforcement. Victoria on a bullhorn. Alex Harlan, by HOA mandate, were demolishing violations, environmental threats to our bay. Blades drop, smashing my shed, gouging the airstrip, her screaming, "Torch that planing, it's contraband," as gasoline sloshes. I felt gut punch head me home, crumbling but thrilled too, knowing the trap was sprung. "You're done," I yell, phone streaming live. This is federal land Erie toast. Then the rotors thump. Coast Guard choppers swarm, Blackhawks dropping tack teams like rain, cutters blocking escapes. Freeze! U.S. Coast Guard, you're under arrest for assault on protected assets. Victoria whirls, flare gun waving. "This is my jurisdiction, you can't." A precision shot knocks it away. She's cuffed, raging, "Who are you really?" as her empire crumbles. Turns out, she was the ring's shore boss, stealing properties to hide dope. We dug up millions in cash and kilos buried near the old bunker. Her hubby got nabbed fleeing with ledgers. The enforcers were duped actors, spilling everything for leniency. She drew 40 years for conspiracy, terrorism charges sticking like glue, restitution flowing to victims she'd fleeced. Months later, island rebuilt, tougher Navy crews added bunkers, secured docks. Jamie's here, inspired, talking law school to fight bullies. It's a beacon now, literally, with a little exhibit on the raid drawing boaters. But here's the thing that nags. Was justice too harsh? Victoria built her web on real community, fears overdevelopment. Outsiders but twisted it for gain. Makes you wonder if HOAs breed this, or if it's just bad apples. What do you think? Drop a comment. Have you dealt with HOA drama? Who's right in these turf wars? Share your story. Let's chat about where power ends and rights begin.